T.I.'s son, King Harris, has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected.
Ever woke up with a roach on your face?
Period. No, that's not the goal.
All right, then.
This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Trying to coddle him for. Let the man walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do.
You can talk to me. Until then, ain't nothing going. Call who you need to call, do what you need to do.
Him being arrested isn't really like the shocker. It's him coming out and his, I guess, reaction to it, right? Because everybody's saying, King, you grew up privileged, bro. Why are you going down this path? Now he's talking about F the police, F12. So, you know, it just, he
ain't nobody talking about anything else right now except the Harris family's living nightmare. And this time, it's not about chains, cars, or flashy Instagram lives. It's about pure survival in the coldest place you can imagine. King Harris, the son of rap icons T.I. and Tiny, is fighting for his life in intensive care after a brutal prison attack that's got everybody stunned and shaken. The reports leaking out don't even sound like normal prison drama. They sound like a full-on gangland movie scene gone wrong. According to insiders, King got jumped in his block so viciously that guards had to drag his battered body away while chaos exploded around him. The scene was wild, his face swollen, body barely moving, and the whole tier turning into a battlefield with multiple inmates left bruised and bloody. And this wasn't some random scuffle. It's already being whispered that this was a calculated hit, the type of setup that doesn't just happen overnight, but gets plotted out step by step until the trap is finally sprung.
Steve Sadar reached out to me looking to make a deal on behalf of T.I. and Tiny. And I told Steve Sadar that my clients want justice. So if the deal involves Tiny and T.I. turning themselves in and admitting to the crime that they've committed, then fine, we got a deal. But if it does not, then I would prefer to have the investigators do their work and to bring criminal charges against Tiny and T.I.
Behind those Georgia prison walls, the word is that this wasn't about petty beef or some regular prove yourself test. No, this was a cold ambush planned to break King down and make an example out of him. Allegedly, certain inmates had been setting him up for weeks, watching and waiting, plotting to humiliate him for what they saw as nonstop flexing of money and privilege. They didn't just want to beat him. They wanted to crush his entire image and reputation in front of everyone. Others say this beating wasn't just violence. It was a brutal reminder that once you're locked up, your last name, your Instagram clout, your parents' fame, none of that keeps you safe. Behind bars, the only thing that matters is loyalty and toughness. Show weakness and you're prey, simple as that. One former inmate even put it bluntly. King is learning that lesson the hardest way possible right now, and it might break him before it makes him. The moment the story hit the internet, it spread like wildfire. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every platform lit up in seconds. Some people were sending prayers and saying, "Stay strong, King." But others were cold, clowning him with comments like, "King finally met the real world and couldn't handle it." That divide online only poured more gasoline on the Harris family's fire, making their nightmare even louder for the whole world to watch.
So the dynamics here are interesting, but I can't judge how the parenting is gone, because everything that we've seen has been stuff that many of us would have said or similar if we saw our children do this. But I will say this, a lot of what's happening is because it's in the public. Like most children don't have to do this in the public.
Yeah, man, it's a lot about that TV show, man, that got people confused. Because I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on like a weekend. They'll say, "Hey, we shooting today. We need y'all at the house. Yeah, come get."
And so I would say what hurt me would be like, I'm honestly like my mom being like with Tip all the time.
Damn.
Like,
timestamp that.
Not timestamp that. I feel like even now and today, like that's how it is. Like they're just tied to the hip. But now I'm grown, so it's like I can't really. But it's like they'd rather go places with each other. So anytime he gotta go, she gotta go. She gotta go, he go. It's just like.
Insiders claim T.I. hasn't closed his eyes since the news broke. He's been on the phone nonstop, hitting up lawyers, politicians, correctional officers, anybody with power inside the Georgia prison system. One Atlanta source even claimed T.I. is ready to throw money at the problem, signing NDAs, cutting checks, making secret promises, just to make sure his son makes it out alive before the next attack strikes. Meanwhile, Tiny is said to be running her own operation like a general in a war room, working with publicists, lawyers, and media allies to control the story. But whispers say even their famously tight bond is showing cracks under the pressure. Behind closed doors, their arguments are explosive, each one allegedly pointing fingers, blaming the other for how King ended up in this nightmare in the first place.
I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for Family Hustle. Right. That does come with some, it's some adversity. Mm-hmm. It's some adversity to come with that. People get in your bed.
Yeah. Y'all want to go to the bando in my neighborhood? Y'all want to go to the bando? I used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the fight.
You cried like a baby to go to your grandma's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every day. I don't want to be in these gates. I want to be outside.
He was pacified till he was 12 years old. He couldn't do that in the house.
Well, you can't do nothing with me.
And the scariest part? Friends close to the family don't even know if T.I. and Tiny are fighting to save their son's life or if they're just tearing each other apart while he's fighting to survive behind bars. Either way, one thing's clear. King's life is hanging by a thread while the so-called unshakable Harris empire looks like it's cracking wide open. The dynasty that once seemed untouchable is unraveling under pressure, and this time the stakes aren't about reality TV ratings or keeping up family pride. This is straight up life or death. And making it all even messier, the rumors flying around like bullets. Some whispers say King got himself tangled in a contraband deal gone bad, either refusing to play ball or trying to finesse the wrong crew inside the prison. In that world, loyalty is like currency, and if you break a promise, you get marked quick. No second chances. Insiders close to the situation even claimed King was tricked, lured into a specific corner of the prison where 3 men were already waiting to ambush him. And here's the wildest part. The surveillance cameras just happened to go dark at the exact same time. The Department of Corrections is insisting there wasn't any kind of glitch, but nobody's buying that weak excuse. One of T.I.'s old road managers even said it straight. It's Georgia. Cameras break when they need to break. That line alone has fans convinced this wasn't an accident, but a setup from the inside. Meanwhile, King's condition is still unstable and the family's private war is boiling hotter than ever. Fans can't forget the drama that's already played out in public, like that infamous Falcons game months back when T.I. put King in a headlock live on Instagram during another explosive argument about his upbringing. That moment was shocking enough, but now, in light of everything happening, it feels like a haunting preview of a family completely unraveling under the spotlight.
I graduated. That's the only good thing they posted of me going viral. I'm not on the media's good side. I don't know why, but it ain't.
You can, kind of woo-saw yourself outside of the public opinion.
Nobody knows why it went down that way, but the whole world remembers that Falcons game. T.I. shouting at the top of his lungs, "You are embarrassing yourself and your family." As security rushed in and Tiny tried to calm the storm, it was chaos caught live. Back then, everyone thought that was King's rock bottom moment, but this ambush behind bars proves things can sink way lower. Now, with King clinging to life in a hospital bed and the Harris family's dirty laundry spilling all over the internet, that Falcons game looks like nothing more than a warm-up for a far uglier chapter. And the whispers inside prison? They're even nastier. Insiders claim King wasn't just attacked for his last name, he was taunted non-stop over his parents' darkest scandals, especially those infamous trafficking allegations that have haunted T.I. and Tiny for years. The couple denied it all, but those rumors never truly disappeared. And in prison, gossip like that is weaponized. King only made it worse, allegedly hyping himself up on social media even from inside, flexing and calling out rivals like he was untouchable, trying to brand himself as Atlanta's next superstar. But the older inmates, they weren't impressed, not one bit. One former prisoner told us point blank, "We don't care who your daddy is. If you don't pay what you owe or you run your mouth, you get handled." That's the rule inside. And now King is paying that rule in blood. Meanwhile, T.I. is reportedly pulling every string he has left. Sources say he's gone so far as to threaten exposing the ugly truth about prison conditions to the public, all while quietly feeding stories to friendly media outlets to spin the blame off King and onto the system itself. Classic celebrity crisis management, but with threats still hanging over King's head and time running out, the question on everyone's mind is chilling. Is it already too late to save him? And deeper than that, maybe this is the consequence of raising someone to believe they're untouchable, only for reality to swing back harder than anyone ever expected. Because as the whispers keep spreading, the story around King Harris's ambush isn't just about a fight gone wrong. Insiders say the plot is getting darker by the hour. This wasn't just a beatdown. It's starting to look like King might have crossed the wrong people in a way that can't be undone. You don't just walk away from this kind of setup. Multiple insiders are hinting that a shady contraband deal was floating around, and King either tried to back out last minute or pulled a slick move that rubbed the wrong people the wrong way. Behind those walls, betrayal isn't just a mistake. It's basically signing your own death warrant. One chilling detail being whispered is that King's name allegedly showed up in a contraband ledger tied to a promise he didn't keep. And in prison, broken promises don't get ignored. They get paid back in blood, but the rabbit hole doesn't stop there because insiders say this isn't just about a deal gone bad. They're calling King's last name a straight-up curse inside the system. The Harris family has always drawn attention, but this time, it's toxic attention. Those old trafficking allegations tied to T.I. and Tiny never really disappeared, no matter how much the family denied them. And King? He couldn't escape that shadow. Other inmates mocked him nonstop, calling him soft and saying the same scandals that haunted his parents painted a big fat target on him. Then there's King's own behavior, loud, flashy, acting like he ran the yard, like he was still living on Instagram instead of prison time.
I really admire his dedication and commitment to the craft. Because, I kind of told him, what was wrong about it. Making mistakes. I ain't had no daddy who would pull up and get on my ass anytime. Things I did, you can't get away with.
I know that.
Man, damn. Yeah, that's I ain't see that one coming. You know
Really?
what I mean? Nah, I didn't.
Talking to me, this ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Stop talking to him, please.
Who the hell is he?
A person that works.
What's your name?
What's your name?
My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show.
That energy built resentment fast, like dynamite, waiting for a spark to blow. For some of the older, hardened prisoners, it wasn't even personal anymore. It was symbolic. Taking King down wasn't just about him, it was about sending a message. Even one correctional officer allegedly admitted off the record that high-profile inmates like King aren't just prisoners. They turn into pawns in bigger power struggles. And in that kind of deadly game, pawns don't last long. When a celebrity steps into prison, he's never just another inmate. He turns into a bargaining chip, a walking statement, a way for gangs to flex power and prove dominance. You take down the famous one, you send a message to everybody else, a former Georgia inmate explained, and that might be exactly what went down with King Harris. But while the violence inside is shocking, the drama outside is just as explosive. Behind closed doors, T.I. and Tiny's marriage is buckling under the weight of this storm. Sources say their fights have gotten volatile, Tiny pointing fingers at the system and shady outside influences, while T.I. is dead set on discipline, politics, and backdoor connections as the only way forward. Tiny reportedly wants a softer approach, pushing to paint King as a victim of a broken justice system. But T.I.? He's doubling down, calling in favors, making high-powered phone calls, and playing hardball with anyone who can pull strings. That split in strategy is tearing at their marriage and shaking the entire Harris brand in the process. One insider close to the couple didn't sugarcoat it. This is worse than the lawsuits, worse than the reality TV fallout, worse than anything they've ever faced. And the scarier part, the more the family scrambles to control the narrative, the messier it looks to the public eye. Even their friends are divided, some warning that going public and dragging the prison system through the mud could backfire, making King an even bigger target. Others argue staying quiet looks like surrender, and the Harris name can't afford to look weak, not now. Meanwhile, every leak, every anonymous tip, Every whisper from a prison guard is adding gasoline to a fire that's already raging online. Fans are connecting dots between old scandals, resurfaced lawsuits, and now this bloody ambush, painting a picture of the Harris dynasty that's darker, messier, and uglier than the family ever imagined. Let's not forget, this ain't King's first run-in with chaos. People still remember his wild social media antics, calling out rivals, flashing stacks of cash, and hyping himself as Atlanta's next unpredictable star. On the outside, that was entertainment. But inside prison, that same energy painted a bullseye on his back from day one. Inmates reportedly laughed behind his back, saying he was acting like a gangster when everybody knew he grew up in luxury. Private schools, bodyguards, reality TV cameras, and security everywhere he went. To them, King wasn't a threat, he was a spectacle, a walking contradiction, and eventually a liability. And inside prison, psychological warfare cuts just as deep as a shank. Every rumor, every cold stare, every whispered threat becomes the first step toward another ambush. With King's privileged upbringing being public knowledge, he turned into the perfect punching bag for resentment. Other inmates hated him for his silver spoon background. Some felt disrespected by the way he tried to play tough, and a few just saw him as the easiest pawn to move in their own chess game. Either way, his fame flipped on him. It was both his weapon and his downfall. And while King bleeds inside those walls, the Harris empire is shaking on the outside. The chaos is dragging the rest of the kids straight into the fire, forcing them to walk through a minefield of ugly speculation. Paternity rumors are bubbling back up. Old disputes that were supposed to be buried are resurfacing, and the whispers are getting louder by the day. The line between private heartbreak and public scandal? Gone completely. Every crack in the family is now out in the open, spilling across timelines, blogs, and headlines, and for the first time, the Harris family can't control the narrative anymore. The same spotlight that once built the Harris brand is now ripping it apart, and the emotional toll is brutal. This ain't about a canceled TV show, a messy viral clip, or even lawsuits stacking up. This is about their son's life and the legacy of one of hip-hop's most famous families. Every new headline twists the knife deeper. Every whisper of betrayal piles on more danger. And every statement the family makes feels like a gamble that could backfire big. The Harris crew always thrived on attention. But right now, that attention feels like poison dripping onto an open wound. And here's the coldest truth. The justice system doesn't bend for celebrity. It doesn't care how many records your dad sold or how many seasons your family had on TV. Behind bars, fame doesn't make you untouchable. It makes you more exposed. It makes you a bargaining chip, a spectacle, a headline waiting to explode. For King Harris, that last name isn't just heavy, it's becoming a straight-up liability that could cost him his life. Insiders whisper that the prison ambush wasn't just one attack. It might have been the opening chapter of something way darker. Was it arrogance that painted the target on his back? Or is this a deeper conspiracy? A deal gone wrong, enemies lurking in the shadows, and a system that already failed him long before he had a chance to prove himself? As T.I. and Tiny scramble to pull strings and protect both their son and their legacy, the haunting question lingers. Is King just another casualty of fame colliding with reality? Or is he the first domino in a chain reaction that could blow the lid off secrets this family's been desperate to bury for years? From the second King stepped behind those concrete walls, the countdown started, and now it feels like every single move since has been leading to this savage climax. And that's where I'll leave it for now. What do you think is really happening behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Don't click away. Go watch the next video popping up on your screen for even more jaw-dropping celebrity drama. What's clear is this. King Harris wasn't just attacked for being himself. He was attacked for everything he represents. The Harris name, the flashy lifestyle, the scandals, the reality TV baggage, it all painted him as a lightning rod for jealousy and resentment. Even correctional officers have admitted off the record that when someone like King steps into prison, he doesn't just walk into a cell, he walks straight into a storm. From the moment he hit that yard, King was no longer just T.Y. and Tiny's son. He became a pawn in battles way bigger than him. It wasn't personal, it was about power, pride, and reputation. Rivals wanted to send a message, not only to King, but to the rest of the inmates, and even to the world watching from the outside. And who better to make an example of than the celebrity kid everyone knew by name? Insiders say the spiral happened fast. One former Georgia inmate broke it down. When someone with headlines comes in, the shark sharks start circling. They either want to break you, test you, or use you to score points. And that's exactly the storm King walked into. Whispers about a contraband deal gone bad, constant taunts about his privileged upbringing, and brutal mockery tied to his parents' lingering legal troubles, it all stacked against him like a death sentence. From day one, King was swimming with sharks, and when those surveillance cameras mysteriously went dark during his ambush, it stopped looking like a random brawl and started feeling like a full-blown setup. A trap sprung at the perfect moment, leaving King bloodied, unconscious, and barely clinging to life as guards dragged him to safety. But here's the thing, the fists weren't the only weapons used against him. Prison insiders claim the psychological warfare may be even deadlier. King was reportedly warned again and again to tone it down, to stop flexing, to quit playing the role of celebrity gangster. But he didn't listen, and now he's paying the price. King's attempts to stand on business only made him look weaker to men who'd spent years perfecting the real code of survival. Inside those walls, respect isn't bought, it's earned in blood. As one ex-inmate put it, if you don't play by the rules, you get handled. And for King, refusing to play by those rules meant he was destined to get handled and handled hard. But the real earthquake is happening on the outside, where the fallout is shaking the Harris Empire like never before. Lawyers are burning the midnight oil, scrambling to spin the story, feeding friendly outlets excuses, pushing sympathetic narratives, trying to paint King as anything but reckless. Some insiders even claim T.I. is preparing to drop bombshells about prison corruption, threatening to expose ugly truths if his son isn't protected. Meanwhile, Tiny is said to be begging allies behind the scenes, pushing the softer angle, framing King as the victim of a cruel, broken system instead of a kid who played too tough for his own good. But no matter what strategy they choose, the Harris family can't escape one brutal reality. The world is watching, and every new headline makes them look weaker by the day. Even worse, the chaos isn't just swallowing King, it's dragging the rest of the Harris kids straight into the fire. Old rumors about family feuds, messy paternity questions, and scandals the family thought were buried are now crawling back to the surface. Social media is exploding with speculation, fans connecting dots between every ugly chapter in the Harris history and this new bloody crisis. What should have been a private nightmare has spiraled into a full-blown public circus, and piece by piece, the Harris Empire looks like it's breaking apart for everyone to see. Friends close to the Harris family say the emotional toll is crushing them, worse than lawsuits, worse than canceled TV deals, even worse than that viral Falcons game headlock. This isn't entertainment anymore. This is legacy, survival, and the Harris name itself hanging in the balance. And zooming out, King's situation is exposing a brutal truth. Celebrity privilege doesn't mean a thing behind bars. Fame doesn't shield you, it spotlights you. Money doesn't always protect you, it can paint you as prey. And family connections, they don't bend a justice system built on ruthless codes and unspoken rules. King Harris's high-profile status wasn't armor, it was the weapon used against him. He became the prize, the pawn, the bargaining chip, and his blood on the prison floor turned into the message rivals wanted the entire world to see. That's why this story is way bigger than one ambush. This isn't just about King lying in a hospital bed, it's about what comes next, and insiders are already whispering that this attack feels like just the opening move. If King pulls through, the real question is chilling. Can he even survive what's waiting in the shadows for him next? Will T.I.'s high-powered connections actually buy his son a lifeline? Or will they spark even more enemies, seeing him as the privileged kid getting special treatment? And what about Tiny's softer, protective strategy? Will it shield King, or will it backfire, making him look weaker to men who live by a code of dominance and power? Either way, the clock is ticking, and every move the family makes could decide not just King's fate, but the future of the entire Harris Empire. These questions hang over the Harris family like storm clouds about to explode. Some are calling it karma, others are calling it conspiracy, and a few are even whispering it's destiny, the unmasking of a family that built its empire on drama, wealth, and reputation. Whatever the truth may be, one fact can't be ignored. King Harris has now become the face of a brutal reality check. Behind bars, there are no TV edits, no Instagram filters, no security team waiting to jump in. It's survival of the fittest, and every wrong move carries a price written in blood. And now the world is watching almost in slow motion as the Harris dynasty stares down its hardest test yet. But here's the twist. The ambush on King isn't just tearing his family apart, it's shaking the culture itself. Fans, critics, and insiders are all asking the same question. Is this the downfall of a legacy or the beginning of a redemption arc nobody saw coming? So now it's your turn. What do you think? Is King just a victim of circumstance, or did his own choices turn him into a target? Could this ambush be the opening act of something way darker, with secrets still waiting to spill? Secrets that could shatter the Harris Empire for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget, like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the next chapter of this wild saga. And make sure you click on the next video popping up on your screen right now for even more jaw-dropping celebrity drama.